Dímelo, mi gente. Today on the Cooligans, we are talking about some of the crazy MLS matches over the weekend, and we have a very special guest that I will let my Cuban homie introduce.
That's right. We got one of Christian's cousins on the show, basically. Kevin Paredes, one of the few Dominican players in all of MLS, and that's not it. That and more today on the Cooligans. Yeah, baby!
Okay, all right.
Come on!
Yes, this is going to be a good one, okay? We got a nice, hot episode for you, okay?
I was wondering where you were going with that, but yeah, look at how excited Christian is. I wonder why.
All right, it's gonna be a nice Dominican heavy episode. Heavy, okay? Ta heavy hoy.
Heavy, just like heavy and hot, just like the mofongo they just slapped on your plate.
Okay, you see, I am decked out in all my Dominican gear. You can't see my my pants, but they're very tight.
Okay. Like Jack Harrison type.
Okay. Yes, Jack Harrison, known Dominican. Okay. Yes. He hung out in the Bronx a little too long. All right.
He went down to Dykeman. He was like, I see this, I respect it, and I want to be it.
Okay. Oliver, he doesn't say hello, he goes que lo que. All right. So no, hello everybody. Yes, we are the Cooligans. My name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerreros.
All right, we are your favorite stand-up comedians that host the funniest soccer show that you have ever seen in your life.
That's right. It's not just that though, it also happens to be the gulliest. Okay.
Yes, the gulliest, the most Dominicano, because we are joined today by Kevin Paredes of DC United, midfielder, homegrown player. Just got his first couple starts, his debut in the MLS is Back tournament. And yeah, bro, I mean, this is a monument. Yeah, we've spoken to David Beckham, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah. Oh, God, I remember that. Who cares?
An afterthought. Done with that guy, okay? Who are the Caribbean superstars that are gonna be the new David Beckhams
of today and tomorrow? Because the kid's only 17. Okay.
Okay, so he's gonna be around for a while. So super cool. He will be with us later. So a lot to discuss today. A couple MLS matches over the weekend that were wild. So we want to get to that. But before we start the show, before we start the program, I want to do, I mean, we don't really, it's not an unboxing, it's just more of a reveal at this point, because
which, by the way, I'm not involved in this and it hurts.
It does. His Alexis's package has not arrived to him yet, but I did get mine. So this shout out to Jaron Wright, who sent this San Francisco
beautiful
FC shirt. Look at this.
That is beautiful. Looks like a nice throwback with the number on the top and the stripes on the arms.
You look, and it's like rainbow colors everywhere. What's it say in the back? It says Standard Deviant Brewing.
There you go. Which is very Jaron, just to have a local brewery as a part of everything he does.
So thank you to Jaron. Thank you, San Francisco FC.
When people ask what's it like to do the show remotely now, I say the worst part is we can't open the same box and get stuff together.
Yes, that's the biggest shame, the biggest tragedy of COVID.
When you look at this whole thing, that's got to be somewhere near the top of the list, right?
Yes. Everybody's very much aware of the biggest plight of this disease.
The CDC is like, we got to get these unboxings back on track.
Yeah. Add that to the guidelines. What is going on?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have we need the Cooligans lobby, a gully lobby,
indoor dining. Yeah. We'll get to it. What's up with these Cooligans unboxings, though?
So thank you, Jaron, for sending that to us. Gully Squad member, just a great dude who we've hung out with in Seattle.
Yeah,
and he's also coming to the studio. Remember when?
That's right. He hung out. He was our first audience member, right?
I don't know.
I think he was.
He might have been.
Yeah.
We've had a couple people in there, but thank you. Anyway, okay, so let's start today real quick talking about a couple of crazy results in Major League Soccer over last week. Obviously, we are taping this a couple days before the Wednesday matches. So
right.
I know you're watching.
So if there was something wild that happened, then we'll get to it. Give us time.
Exactly, but there were a bunch of incredible matches, and let's at least start with Portland Timbers against RSL, and we should give a little bit of context here, right? Because obviously it was a crazy game, but there's a craziness that was going on in Portland outside of this stadium, right?
Yeah.
There was the
You've seen the news,
the roving gang or tour of these militia Trump people. I mean, someone ended up dead. It was an unbelievable tragedy. But it's just ridiculous that this stuff is going on, especially in
especially in a city like Portland.
Yeah, who are really fighting and protesting against police brutality. And so
people from outside of Portland think, hey, why don't we get in our car and add to the brutality, which just makes no sense.
Ridiculous. So
we want everyone to be safe, guys.
Yes, that is we our hearts are with our Portland friends who are fighting this good fight. So thank you for what you are doing, and definitely stay safe. So going back to soccer, this game was pretty crazy too, right? I mean, this 4-4. It ended. This game ended 4-4.
It was 4-2, and you're like, you know what? You can shut it down now. You know what I mean? We've decided a winner. It's not, the match isn't done yet, but I think we know what's going to happen. And like you put on Twitter, all of a sudden you come back to, you're like, the hell happened?
Because I'm watching this game, and it was an entertaining game. There were a bunch of goals. Sebastian Blanco scored a gorgeous curler that
they just let him have the ball for like 35 minutes.
Sebastian Blanco is one of these obviously he was the MVP of the MLS's back tournament.
Yeah.
We saw what he did in I believe it was it in the playoffs? I think it was in the playoffs, right? Against Sporting Kansas City, when he hit that banger that knuckled and went to the top corner.
Yeah.
That was with his right foot, right?
This one was with the homie hit it with the left foot.
It was unreal. Just
wild.
But the fact that he can do this with both feet.
It looked like the other player's connection was lost for a second on an online game, because they were just standing there as he was running, and he decides to curl it. It was amazing.
You don't know what foot to not let him shoot on, because he can pretty much do it from anywhere. But it was a crazy game, and there's a bunch of other games that we need to get to. So we'll be back talking more about a few of these MLS matches right after this.
Back on the Cooligans Living Room FC, and don't forget, right after this segment, we've got a great interview with Kevin Paredes. Christian has no clue who he is or where he's from, but he's going to learn when he gets here that he happens to be from the Dominican Republic, just like Christian.
Oh my God, I got to do my research during the next commercial break.
Yeah, it's such a good thing that you wore all that clothing and have the Dominican flag behind you, which you normally don't do. But there's so much that happened. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Giuseppe Rossi for scoring his first goal with RSL and in MLS. That's pretty dope.
That's right. People, I had tweeted out congratulating him, and people like, he should join the U.S. national team, and the jokes.
Bring it back up.
No one can forget. Come on, can we forgive at the very least? No, really cool. Obviously, he's had a long road back. He has dealt with so many injuries, and for him to score a goal in what, at that time, even the announcer was like, oh, it might have been like the goal may not mean much.
Apparently, yeah, it did, because they could have lost 4-3 in those last final minutes. So that's a bit, but that's just sort of getting back, getting that goal scoring touch again from someone who was wildly successful at it at one point. Just must mean so much to him. Exactly. So congratulations. And he was on our show. He's been on our show before. So that's pretty cool. Tune
in to listen to that podcast. The next thing I wanted to get to is Orlando against Atlanta United at the Benz. Okay. Yes, there were a couple players missing for Atlanta United, but Orlando gets
What they've never done before.
They've never beaten Atlanta United before, and they get their first win. So we applaud Orlando. Finally, has the rivalry begun? I mean, I know we spoke to Dom Dwyer about this exactly. And he was like, we haven't
It's
won.
not a rivalry until we win.
And they won. They won convincingly.
Yes, they did.
Chris Mueller was spectacular.
Also, speaking of Dominican Republic, a guy by the name of Dike. It looks really good. I mean, that's the most Dominican thing you could ask for right there.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's you're one of us. It's de lo mío now.
Yeah,
100%. No, they looked great. And I think, look, I'll be honest. I think given where Atlanta United is right now, and honestly, I think a big reason why they didn't play as well is, Franco Escobar was not playing. He got the red card in the other game. But I think the lack of spectators helped helped Orlando. Playing in the Benz definitely is less intimidating. And they went in and did the job. I think they were just much more comfortable. I think this sets a good precedent for the future in like when the next time they go there and there are fans, and then to be like, you know what, we've won here before, so it's not as intimidating.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want it to renew the rivalry, and they certainly have done that.
Exactly. So next up, we have Kevin Paredes, de lo mío of DC United, joining us. He is one of the few Dominican players in Major League Soccer to have ever played in the league. So it's really, really cool to talk to him. So come right back after this.
Cooligans Living Room FC, and this is exciting. I know this is exciting for Christian.
Yes.
Right? Right. Christian. This is like Christian's son is on our show right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's nice to bring family onto the show. You know what I'm saying?
He got his cousins on the show. This is what we do now, yo. It's not even about soccer no more. It's just Christian being like, yo, my aunt is in my ear. I got to get these dudes on the show.
Look, I got to put the family on. What do you want me to tell you?
Everybody eats, yo. The family got to eat off this Cooligans thing. This is exciting because, like, yo, we said from the beginning, like, people don't really realize, like, a Cuban and a Dominican just talking about soccer is wild. That's wild to people. You know what I mean? Forget the fact that we're comedians and we're from this area. What's another step further is either a Cuban and or Dominican playing soccer professionally.
Yo, people are like, what is that legal? What's going on?
What happened? You threw your arm out throwing a curve, and now all of a sudden you just decide to use your feet?
It's your fallback plan. I get it. I see
plan B is in effect. But this is absolutely exciting because we actually got to see this dude play his first professional game in the MLS's back tournament, all the way from Virginia. But before that, his familia was from Santo Domingo.
Vamos, coño.
All right. You know the vibes. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as a midfielder for your DC United, but we know him as Familia. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only. Put your hands together unless you're driving. In fact, pull over for La Patria. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Paredes.
Kevin, what's good, brother?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Dude, look, it's an honor. I know, it's weird being 17 years old and having an adult man being like, yo, you're the best. I don't know what to say.
Yo, your success rides on everything.
No, man, but look, as a person of Dominican descent, both my parents are from DR. I grew up in New York. And to see, I'm a fan of soccer, and, I'm sure you experienced this as well. Like, why aren't you playing baseball? And so I've heard it in your life. So, look, this is kind of where I want to start. Like, what is I've seen a couple. DC United has been doing some videos, and they've been interviewing you and talking about your heritage and what that kind of means to you. So, I kind of just want to continue that conversation a little further. You being a player of Dominican descent, playing in Major League Soccer, is that even a thing you even noticed while you were in your academies or whatever? Was it even pointed out to you, or you just like, I'm just another kid playing soccer?
Yeah, I was surprised. First training with the first team, I didn't expect to get a contract. I didn't expect to play with them at all. I was just playing with the academy, having fun, doing my best, but never would I thought that this would happen.
Yeah,
going pro as a teenager, that's got to be wild. Like, when you started playing soccer, for you, Did you have the idea that like, yo, I'm gonna be a pro, or were you just enjoying yourself?
I was enjoying it. All I wanted to do was be better than my brothers, but I never thought about, being pro or anything until I got to their academy. And that's when I really thought about, I want to actually do this for my career.
Yeah,
Damn.
was it ever a conversation of like, I know you with academy kids, they always talk about like, especially, what do your parents look like? Because they're trying to figure out how tall you're going to be, how strong you're going to be or whatever. Because I know what happens a lot in soccer is that if you have like an American last name, your transfer fee won't even be that high. But if you're the same player, but you have a Spanish, a Latino last name, then you're all of a sudden more like sought after. Being a kid of Dominican parents, was that ever like a discussion or noticeable or anything, even in becoming a pro or just moving up through the academy?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It was like most of the DC players are either black or Hispanic, so not many white people go through the academy. Except now,
Yeah.
there's a lot going through, but yeah, everyone was either Hispanic or black, so I guess that was an advantage.
No, that's great.
Is there like an uncle or an abuelo who was trying to get you to hold a baseball every time you came home with a soccer ball? Because I had that. My grandfather was like, "Oh, yeah, kid, look, become a Yankee. There's some fat people on the Yankees. You don't stand a chance in soccer."
Yeah, whenever we went back home, all my cousins, all my uncles, everyone was playing baseball, So it was kind of weird. We would pull up with a whole soccer ball, and we're doing multi-sports. We built a little basketball hoop on a tree. We started playing basketball there. Me and my brothers like to hoop, but yeah, for them it was strange. They saw us come back with a soccer ball. So
they're like, "What type of baseball is that? So big. You can't even hold it with one hand."
No, man, it's one thing that I think about. Watching you play, you did get your first minutes and at the MLS's back tournament. How proud was your family? I mean, I'm sure you still live with your family, right?
Yeah, I don't think you picked out that painting we can see on your own. That's not something you just pick up at the mall.
How was it? Because as comedians, like when I told my mom and my dad, like, oh, I'm gonna start doing stand-up comedy, and then when things started getting better and I started getting real opportunities and they started seeing me on TV and all those other things, they still didn't even really like get it, right? It didn't really make sense, but they were proud of like the achievement. I'm just curious, like your family, what was how did they feel seeing you play, seeing you get that contract? Like what were those moments like when it all came to be and it all felt so real?
Yeah, especially my parents, they were very proud. They helped me, supported me all through the way. Right into my family back in the DR, I don't think they understand anything that was happening, They didn't know nothing about soccer. They didn't understand. All they do know is that I'll be making money. That's it.
That's all that matters.
That's it. The check clear, right? Okay, he's doing good.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly how it worked. They heard I was making money, so they thought I made it. So yeah, for them to know that, and they still give me support, and I don't think they know the rules or how soccer works, but they see me on the TV, and that means a lot to them.
The next time Christian goes to DR, he's going to know who's your family, who the Paredes family is, because they'll be the only people with DC United kits in all of DR. I guarantee you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's cool to see you play, mainly as a Dominican person, to see that representation in the sport, right? Because Dominicans, we all know, are some of the greatest athletes in the world. Especially when it comes to baseball, but we don't get the respect in the other sports because it's like, you're only supposed to be playing baseball. But there are prominent Dominicans, Junior Firpo at Barcelona, even though Barcelona is a disaster right now, dumpster fire. But Mariano in Real Madrid, is that? Do you ever kind of look to those players for any kind of inspiration? Do they mean anything to you?
I mean, definitely. Another Dominican playing in even a higher league than myself, that's a big deal. Everyone would expect them to be playing baseball, but now they're actually doing big things, and that's something that me and my family are proud of. It's not just the baseball side of it. We're getting involved and we're getting bigger in the sport, so it's good. It's cool to see other Dominicans, making it big as well.
All right. Yeah, we all thriving right now. Okay. All right. We'll be back with more Kevin Paredes right after this. To the Cooligans Living Room FC. We are here with Kevin Paredes of DC United, homegrown midfielder, Dominicano. All right. We're happy to have him on the show. And I mean, look, I want to talk about soccer, sure, but I just want to talk about more. I want to talk about Dominican food. I want to talk about but there's I think a cool thing about you, especially, is given that you're a homegrown player, a young player. There aren't too many very young players that get the opportunity that you do. I mean, like you're Gianluca Busio, one of the also like younger players that are getting a lot of attention. We had a question from one of our fans. We have the Gully Squad, which is our supporters group, right? And Mike Thomas, he had asked something that was fun. He said, "How badass is it to walk around high school and be a professional athlete?" So, are you still? Because I know sometimes people go to they're homeschooling or whatever. What's the school situation like for you? I'm sure it's a lot of
pre-COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I signed, I actually moved into online school. So, but I still had that one day because that's when DC announced it.
Oh, that was the flex day.
That was, oh my God.
Hold on, was it announced before lunch?
It was in the morning as soon as I got there.
Oh, that's the best. Because you go through lunch like a king. You know?
It was wonderful, It was funny because some of my teachers just didn't know yet, And so they were like, "Oh, you got to finish all your work before..." Because the semester is about to end. The first semester is about to end. And I was like, man, I'm not coming back no more.
I ain't got to do no work.
You flip your desk. You're like, I'm done.
You mush the teacher. Like, get out my way, yo. Your breath stink. I didn't like you to begin with.
Yeah, some know it got announced as soon as I got to school. So all my friends, people, everyone just coming up to me. I was like, man, it's still early in the morning, man. I'm trying to wake up still. And then, it was a fun day. It was
too bad. If they would have announced it a little later in the day, you could have borrowed money from friends you're never going to see again. It would have been great. Yo, let me hold 100. Yeah. I'll get it back to you. I'm out.
Nah, man, that's dope. It is a cool thing. I mean, let's talk a little bit about playing. What was a bubble like for you? We've spoken to a couple other players. Usually the starkest difference is the younger players were like, "Yo, well, I'm here and we're in the bubble. Let's go." And then the older players are like, "Yo, my wife, my kids, where's my family?"
I hate to bring up your age because you're an athlete. You're a professional athlete. But when I was 17, if I told my mom I'm going to Orlando for a month, she's like, "Con quién?" What you mean you going to Orlando? ¿Para qué? It'd be a different conversation. Did you have to have did someone on DC United have to sort of take the mom phone call,
Nah. Free fall,
she
man.
was like, "Please get him out of here.
Yeah.
He'd be eating everything."
Yeah, it was. I was pretty much free, They gave me my space. But they're still my parents, the players or the coaches. So
yeah, is there anyone in particular that you cool with that is more a bit of a mentor for you? As you adjust on the team.
Yeah, so the three that got me used to the team, got me comfortable and stuff is Bill Hamid, our keeper.
Yeah.
Fish, our outside back.
Okay.
And Earl Edwards, our another keeper that we have. So yeah, those three really welcomed me to the team, and they put me in my place sometimes when stuff is going well, but at the same time they humble me and keep me pushing.
Bro, I do not want to get yelled at by Bill Hamid if I mess up on the field.
He's almost too good at yelling. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
It's scary, but hey, he be speaking the truth though.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about what Christian said before. When you have a South American name, your fee is higher, right? Mm-hmm. And you see all the Argentinian and Uruguayan players walking around with the thermos or the gourd for the mate.
Yeah,
we got to do it Dominican Day. I don't know, you're from Virginia, so maybe it's not the same as uptown Dominicans, but hookah is a big thing here. You know what I mean? Maybe you walk into the training center with a hookah all the time. Couple of, you know, it's an octopus, right? You grab on one, you grab on one.
Ben Olsen will be like, yo, hook me up.
Ben Olsen's like, I prefer sour apple. Wait, what was the question again? I'm saying it could just help, you know, expand the fee, you know?
That's what we need. We need to create this, like, lore and legend for Dominican players. Okay, well, yeah, we'll figure it out. The last couple, you've been getting some starts. The last couple games have been, you know, haven't been ideal. Been some rough results. But let's talk about what's that feeling like for you, you know, having that high of like, yo, I'm a new player here. I'm trying to do my best. And then also having to deal with those challenges of like, yo, we got some rough losses and we got to make some changes.
Yeah, for me, like, especially from the coaching side, they believe in me. They think that I can get the task done, and, you know, I'll be showing my worth. I'll be showing everything on the field. And turns into like the loss side, you know, it sucks. You know, I hate losing. That's my pet peeve. I just hate losing. So seeing like us lose, it just makes me want to push even harder. So our next game, that, you know, maybe I can make the difference, and maybe I can get the win this time. And yeah, it's a lot of learning experience. It's a lot of patience, but yeah, it's whatever. And keep pushing and keep going.
What's the biggest difference between like playing for Loudon and then going up to the higher level at DC United?
Is it Loudon or Loudon?
Loudon.
Okay. Is it Loudon?
Yeah.
All right. Well, look at that. We all learned something today. What's the difference between playing for Loudon and Loudon? Because they're two different teams. I wasn't wrong. No, what's the difference between playing for Loudon and then coming up to like a DC United level?
Yeah, when I first started playing for Loudon, it was because I was playing with the academy all the time. So that jump for academy to Loudon was kind of a big step. You know, there's much mature players, bigger, stronger, and I wouldn't say they're technical, but they were just bigger and faster than me, you know. But then you get to the MLS side, it's a combination of both, you know. They're both technical. MLS is more technical. They're strong. They're fast. So playing for Loudon was a good experience. I got, you know, some good minutes going down, but playing for MLS is a big deal, and it's hard. It's hard being 17 and playing in the MLS, but I'm doing all my best. I'm eager to learn and to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you're on like the forefront of like the, you know, you're as you've been alive, the MLS has always existed, right? So, you know, at least there are people that, you know, there was a time when there was no professional soccer, men's professional soccer in the U.S. So I'm almost curious, like do you feel a sense of like there's a tide turning of like what MLS means on the, you know, compared to the you know, global football, where like it used to be, you know, quote unquote retirement league, but it's like, why you calling retirement? I'm 17 years old. I'm out here. You know?
I ain't ready to retire yet.
Yeah. Like especially when I was younger, when we went to go watch some MLS games like DC and stuff, I remember everyone saying it was like, oh, it's not a good league and stuff like that. But man, how times have changed, you know. I think that MLS is up and coming, and put a little bit more respect on MLS, you know.
Yeah,
a little bit more respect.
Especially, yeah, and you're going to be a part of that, so that's pretty dope. We got more with Kevin Paredes when we get back after this. We're back in the Cooligans Living Room FC, and we're here with Kevin Paredes of DC United. Now, this is a question again from Gully Squad. That's our supporters. This is super important, okay? Especially for me. This question comes from Matt Haney. He wants to know, where is the best Dominican food in DC, especially during the pandemic? Do you know? Is there a place that you like to order food from?
My grandma's house. Either my
grandma's
or my mom's house. You know, there's not much that I know in the DMV area. So yeah, it just has to be my
also
family.
the problem, this is like, if you had asked me this question, if I was your age, even kind of now, like parents, especially Dominican moms, do not like to order Dominican food from anywhere.
The disrespect.
So right.
Like if my grandmother was making ropa vieja and I said, wait a minute, why don't we order ropa vieja from this Cuban restaurant? My grandmother would be like, find a new house to live in. Okay? Maybe she's your grandmother now who owns that restaurant. How dare you do that?
Exactly. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's difficult to answer that question because there's too much pride. Dominican moms do not. It's just not a cool thing. I mean, even when sometimes I would bring food, I would order food, and so my mom doesn't have to cook. She's like, I don't mind cooking. Like she'd rather cook than eat somebody else's Dominican food.
So then that's saying, so you don't love me anymore. Cool. All right. I didn't know you were going to tell me that. With McDonald's, Christian, do you have a favorite mumbo sauce spot? Are you big on mumbo sauce? I know you grew up in VA. That's a DC thing.
Man, nah.
No. All right.
Okay. All right.
It's just wings. It's dope. Get on it. Don't. If the team is listening, don't get on that until the off season.
The other thing I wanted to talk about to take some time on is we haven't really spoken to a younger player about this, but there's a lot going on in Major League Soccer, in sports in general, especially with the protest just the other day. As a young player, I mean, I've seen like the video that Bill Hamid did for the Black Players for Change. There is definitely, I'm sure these conversations are going on, but as a young player and just as a player in general, what's it like kind of maybe having these serious conversations in the locker room with your players, with coaches? Like, how does it make you feel?
For me, it's eye-opening, seeing what some of these players have to go through. And, it's frustrating to, they're saying that their lives are at risk. That's a huge problem, That's something that we need to change, that it has to go through the youth as well, So I'm doing my best to, trying to do everything I can, to help this situation, and it's cool to see. It's not cool, but it's helpful for me to gather all this information from these more experienced and more knowledge players like Bill, like Earl. They have these serious conversations about me. I listen, I learn, I take away from stuff that they say, so I can, hopefully later on just use it and, educate more of the youth. I see now a lot of youth, they're just posting like a black screen. It's way more than just posting a black screen on Instagram. So taking action now as a youth player, using my platform, using my voice. A lot of kids look up to me around here, so getting them on the train too to stop what's going on can be really beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, look, I know, I can imagine it must be it makes you grow up real fast.
Yeah.
There's things like that where you're like, oh man, I a couple years ago I was just a kid playing soccer, and now I'm like, I got to think about all this serious stuff. But sometimes that's what it has to be, right? And if to kind of adapt and adjust and to be as knowledgeable as possible is definitely going to be helpful for you, and then obviously the people coming in after you.
But also, I think it says a lot about you just to be like someone who's like, even though I'm young, that's not an excuse to not take this seriously or not understand your position and how you can be influential. And even outside of something like this, you referenced earlier that you just wanted to be better than your brothers were. I'm assuming they were older than you. Do you have family members or close friends that have family members that are younger that do look up to you directly? Is that something that you're really aware of, especially now that you've become a pro?
Yeah, I still get texts from my cousins and stuff. My younger cousins saying like good job and stuff, that they're watching, that they're trying hard as well to hopefully become like me one day. So
wow,
it's very nice.
Yeah.
You ever got to let them know like you ain't got it, bro? Like, don't even try. This is more of a Kevin thing,
I can be the only Dominican soccer player in the family. What are you doing?
I mean, you got to work real hard if you're going to catch up to me, my guy.
Or do you have those cousins that are like, yo, you misplayed that ball? What's going on over there? What's going on?
Yeah, it's like whenever they come over, not lately because of all of this, but whenever they did come over, we have the puggles in the basement. It's just a battle royale right there.
Yeah.
So, I used to be the one getting thrown around for my brothers. Now they're smaller than me, so I feel good.
Yeah. Plus, they can't hurt you too bad. You know what I mean? There's money in them ankles.
Yeah.
How does it feel when you do get that first when somebody tackles you in MLS for the first time, when somebody's pushing you off the ball, and you're like, oh, I'm 17. I got these
like,
dudes are
fam,
not
you
17.
32, my guy. Calmate.
Is there because I know it's size. It doesn't necessarily have too much to do in soccer. Like Messi is a tiny dude, right? Mm-hmm. But he is one of the greatest that has ever done it. Is there a is that something you think about? Like, oh, I gotta either get stronger or tactically know how to like position myself and technically know what to do so I don't get pushed off the ball so easy.
Yeah, I actually learned that at a very early age, because I've always been playing a couple years up, like 1 or 2 years up. So I've never been the biggest. I've never been the fastest guy. So I've learned to use my ability to dribble, pass, all that to my advantage so that later on, like now, I don't want to say much now because, these guys are still a lot bigger and stronger than me, but that I have a slight more advantage when it comes to like plays like that. But I've also learned to be a lot more aggressive,
Yeah.
I've learned to go into some tackles that I don't even dream about going into or headers. Like I've never gone to like a headers in the academy, but just the other day I won like two, 3 headers in the game. So I was like, when it comes to here, is like when I get on the pitch, especially, it's whatever, you got to do what you got to do. And
it's great to see. I love watching you play because I'm like, there is a little bit of like, let me see what this Dominicano's gonna do. What's he gonna how is he gonna play?
Does he have the Tigre spirit on the field?
That's right. Yeah, that's what you call it. The Tigre spirit. Is it flowing through you? El tigueraje, right? But you have a swag, right? There's a comfort. There is a mental aspect to the game that isn't that you're displaying at a young age, which I'm sure is why you are a professional at this young age, because you know what you're doing. It's not a simple job to be a professional midfielder in Major League Soccer. There is a lot required of you defensively and offensively, and it's dope to see. Is there anybody in particular that you looked up to, midfielders that you were like, that's how I want to play?
You're definitely Messi,
Yeah.
When he comes back from the midfield or he stays out wide, the things that he does on and off the ball, creativity is just, it's not human, Like the stuff he does is just, especially being his height, his strength, and his backstory and everything. Just seeing him making all like the best players look silly on the field is pretty much what got me,
I want to embarrass some fools
too.
Oh,
yeah, definitely. And then
you got to flex.
Yeah, and then
stunt.
Seeing the joy of Ronaldinho play for Lille was pretty huge for my whole family. He loved the game. He was always happy, and that's why I like to build off. If I want to be playing in this league or the sport for much longer, I gotta enjoy the sport as well. So every time I play, I'm always laughing. I'm always joking around. So yeah, those 2 players are pretty much really big for me. You
mentioned Messi. Where do you think he's going to go? Do you think he's going to stay with Barca? What do you think is going to happen?
I hope, man. I hope he stays. I'm a huge Barca fan. I hope he stays, but he got to do what's best for him. So that means leaving. I'm gonna cry for a little bit. Right? Yeah, I'm gonna cry for a little bit, but hey, that's what he has to do. Then I guess that's what he has. I think he's probably gonna go to Man City.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then NYCFC, and then you might end up playing him, right?
Shoot. If he's on that right side, I'm playing that left wing back role. It's gonna be a long game. It's gonna be a long game.
All right, we'll be back with more Kevin Paredes right after this. To the Cooligans Living Room FC. We are still here with DC United's Kevin Paredes, okay? And so we have another question from Gully Squad, from Val Pasha, who is a DC United supporter, hardcore supporter. She's great. She had asked, she said, I feel like I'm getting a lot of my DC United hope from young players like you, Griffin Yao, and Moises Nyman, if I'm saying that right. And he says, thank all 3 of you for that second half of that game against Union less painful. I don't know why she's bringing up old stuff. But She asked, what's it like having all these great teenagers in a professional environment like this?
Yeah, it makes all of us more comfortable, seeing our friends that we've been competing with since, we were like 12, 13, and having them too around me. Even though we're the same age, they still be teaching me a lot as well, So we all build off of each other and we all grow together, and it's cool to see that fans, everyone, all the supporters love how we play, our energy, and that's how we build off from.
How's it feel being in the locker room with, you got a good core there. You got like 2 or 3 folks that are around your age that you grew up with. And then you got a bunch of people who probably don't even know half the music you're listening to. They're like, Spotify. No, I got this CD. And you're like, get that. You might cut somebody with that thing. Get that out of here. What's that like? Like, do you get to play some of your music? Do you get to like do some of those things? Or is there like generally like a sort of a DJ that's there? Like somebody picks the music and you just got to listen to old music, I guess.
Yeah, it's a combination of both, on like workout days or whatever. It's whoever is like on the aux at the time. So it's like either our trainer, one of the older guys, but it's not usually us, because they don't really mess with our music like that.
They don't trust it.
But on
they're
game
like,
days,
WAP? What is this WAP?
They're like, what's Playboy Cardi saying? You're like, nobody knows. That's the genius of it. Cardi don't even know.
But on game day, it's whatever what the team likes. So usually me or Griffin hop on the aux and we start playing our pop smoke and everything. So
okay.
It's
All right, King of New York going on in DC. All right, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope. We had another question from Douglas Reyes Saron. He said, "What's the silliest situation you've gotten yourself into with the senior team? Has any been time when you felt a little embarrassed or that you got clowned on a little bit?"
Yeah, we were in a team meeting and we were out there for like 30, 45 minutes on one like single slide, and I got this spot where the sun was hitting only, and I was in my chair and I started getting dizzy a little bit, and coach was saying some serious stuff, and out of nowhere I face went into the ground, and like my chair flipped and everything, and I got back up real quick, and they're like, "You good?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm good." Keep going.
I'm just really affected by what coach is saying. Maybe I take it more seriously than everyone else. Anyway, keep going, coach.
Yeah, that's probably the most.
Yo, yeah, that's rough. I'm gonna empathize as someone who is a fainter. I fainted a couple times in my life. I fainted on the subway reading a book. I was just holding a book, and I just felt.
I've never fainted before in my life, so I don't even know what this is.
There's no way. Yeah, you can't faint and be confident when you get back up.
You can't get back up and be like, yo,
yeah, I'm
so good. How much time did I miss? What year is it? You can't.
Who am I?
You can't have too much alpha energy after you've hit the ground.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, there's so we had a question also from Felix Palau, who he mentioned his wife is Dominican, and he was like, Evie's very proud. All right, so look, you're not just playing for yourself out there, you're playing for the community as well.
Mm-hmm.
But he asked, have you ever been to Washington Heights?
Never.
In New York.
Never.
Okay. Well,
You know, like it's like Dominican Mecca, though, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Washington Heights is the capital of Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
You got to go to Dykeman, right? Like if you Muslim, you got to go to Mecca once, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to Dykeman. You can just got to go. You got to eat a chimi outside.
Yeah,
it's just what it is.
We also don't want to ruin Kevin. All right.
No. I said once. Look, odds are he's gonna go back when he sees the ladies. You know what I mean? It's a fun place to be.
But yeah, there is a certain sense of I'm curious to talk to you about this because like I know growing up in a Dominican household, Dominican family, there's a little bit of this machismo, this is pressure to be a certain thing, right? To have swag, to have confidence,
a certain bravado.
Yeah, and it's something very specific with Dominicans, for some reason, of like, not it's like built into the culture of like you can't just be like a good dude. You got to have like swag as well. Is there any any sense that you feel that, or any pressure, whether it's like to look at? I see you have the cross, the earring,
The dangling earring.
You're like, all right, yeah, I'm settling in just right.
Yeah.
Man, I do what I do. My parents support it, so it's whatever, you know. They support whatever I do, whatever actions I do. Well, I want to say all the actions. I'll be wilding sometimes, but
Yeah.
I want to say.
But like,
there's
even
too
like
much.
as a midfielder, like even if you're playing it technically, you gotta still have some sauce, right? Like that's just part of the culture that we all come from.
Yeah, man, I'm creative. I like being creative. I like trying new things on the field. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I like trying new things, and you know, if I gotta make a couple people, I'll do it. You know, someone got to do it. You know,
If it had to be done, it had to be done. You know?
like my team. We're in PK shootout, and everyone's hitting to the side. Everyone's doing. I was like, watch, I'm gonna try something. Man's dive, I chipped it right down the middle, made him look like a fool. So it's trying new things, you know.
Yeah, bro.
Hit him with the panenka.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That there is a certain sense of like, it's not about just being good. It's like there's a bringing a sense of style to the game, and I think that is
It's like being memorable.
Yeah, it's a thing that in soccer allows you to do that more than almost any other sport. Like where creativity is very much part of the game. There's only so much a coach can tell you what to do, and then after that, it's like, all right, you got to go out there and kind of make decisions on your own. Like even in baseball,
But how
has,
dope would that be if Ben Olsen just whispered in the air, "Ain't no such thing as too much sauce"? On your way out. You're like, damn.
Well, you saw, like in baseball, who was it? Fernando Tatis, right? Junior. He hit the home run on a 3-0 count, and everybody in baseball was like, how could he do that? That's disrespectful. They were up by like 7 runs. It's like, get out of here with that. In soccer, it's like 7 goals. That's not enough. I got to score more on you.
Yeah. You gotta be disrespectful at times, you know?
That's it. It's part of it.
Yeah.
We got more with Kevin Paredes. We get back after this.
Welcome back, everybody, and thank you to Kevin Paredes, just El Mani right here with me. Thank you so much for joining us, man. I know, like I said at the top of the show, like an honor, and I know you're a kid, but it does mean a lot. It is really cool to see another Dominican playing at such a high level. So also, and if there's anything you want to let people know about before we sign off, please let us know.
Yeah. During this time, make sure you guys are staying safe. Keep social distancing and making sure that we get through this time together. I know a lot of stuff is happening. Black Lives Matter. That's the most important thing. And yeah, make sure everyone follows me on Instagram, Paredes_7 on Twitter as well.
All right. Thank you so
Look
much.
at that. 17, already a pro and already smarter than half of y'all. Put your masks on.
So everybody, make sure you follow at Soccer Cooligans on all social media. Follow at Fubo Sports, and make sure to subscribe to the Fubo Sports YouTube channel for full episodes of the program. So with that said, let us end the show the way we normally do. So for of DC United, Kevin Paredes. My name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerreros.
And together, what are we?
The
Cooligans!